Okay. Did you all see the design I highlighted? If you can see it, please just type. Let me know you are following me. Okay. One person is doing so many bad designs. First one. Even someone that is not a designer will know that the design is rubbish. The person that looked for this design to bring, Isaac, must have searched the internet for the worst design ever. Just see the way fonts are just scattered everywhere on the design. There is no alignment, there is no contrast, there's no breathing space, no empty space at all, no alignment, no contrast, no proximity, nothing. There is no graphics rule that was obeyed in this design. So it is a total rubbish. As you can see, first, I don't even need to talk much about this one. So, okay, say bad design, the alignment was wrong, too many fonts, too many colors. Obviously, you don't even need to talk about that. Then when the next one, the good design. You see how proximity was used here. Proximity was maintained, alignment was maintained, maximum of 3 fonts was used. Let me see if maximum of 3 fonts were used. It's actually 2 fonts that were used on this. Okay, 3 fonts, yeah. But that one is more like the logo. That one with icing. It's more like icing, more like the logo. Icing Bakery. But every other thing is just one font that was used there. So the designer of this design was very creative. The way he communicated the brand through these pictures was very creative. And the call to action, book us now. Its phone number, everything eligible, you can read through clearly. That is what makes a good design. There's no balance on this design. I don't know the intention of the designer, but then the image has taken over the whole of the canvas, giving no room to breathe, no room for the eyes to be able to consume other content of the design. So the design is not so good. This is the one I'm talking about. I hope you are following. But can you hear me? You are not seeing my screen. Yeah, I stopped sharing my screen, but I'll be back soon on that. But hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
All right, we are still reviewing these designs that were dropped. Let me even mention this quickly. One way that you can learn quickly is when you are able to identify bad designs and you know why they are bad. Then you definitely not want to do your own design to be like that. That way you'll be better. That way your own designs will be better. So follow me as we are reviewing these designs. This next one, which is non-designers design stuff. When I don't even understand what the person wrote here said, but this is totally bad design. No, it's not even a design, sir. I can't call that a design. So follow me. Then the person posted, who is that, sir? Who is that? I can't get the name here. I think it is. Let me just reply to it so that you know where I am. This. So you can click on my reply. Good design, good representation of all principles of design, ranging from contrast, alignment, hierarchy, and proper color choice. Okay. Yes. This design was done by a professional. It is a simple and straightforward design that is communicating. When you look at the design straight up without reading too much details, you know what the design is about, and you get the message, which is the work of a graphic designer. We are telling us, we are passing a message through the design. Therefore, you don't have to stress your viewers. You don't have to stress them in the way you communicate through your design. Straightforward. That is what that design did there. So that is a good one. Then, good design principle of contrast. Is which is the leather footings. That is where I am. That is where I am now. Shoes, belts, sandals, covered palms, others. The design is okay, but it doesn't have balance to say. One way you can achieve balance on your design is when you apply all principles of design properly. There's contrast, there is proper alignment. This design now does not really have hierarchy like that, or it has, but it was not used properly. Hierarchy was not placed properly on this design. If we are to redesign this design, it will definitely be better than this, though it still goes for a good design. Okay, I'm talking about the shoes, the one with leather shoe footings, which is this. Let me reply to it. This. Then the next one, we are branding. We are rebranding. Yeah, we will be rebranding and you are rebranding with rubbish. This design is total rubbish, and you say you are rebranding. Please, if you want to do something as a designer, make sure that what you are doing cannot or almost cannot be criticized by another designer. That way, your design will have respect. Please, how will somebody say you are rebranding? And I'm sure this has to do. Okay. It's not for a branding agency. But then, I believe that you are in this class now, you've learned all this. You will not be able to do this kind of thing for somebody and say you are rebranding. Okay, let's move on. Let's hurry up so that this Canon camera, nice. This other celebration of fire and thunder. Now, Buhari shall not return. Oh, that design is terrible. That design is terrible. That is not, and this is what, when you go to all these more sorry to say UTC designers, I don't know if we have anyone yet, so that you don't feel offended. Those designers, computer village designers, when you go there sharp, they do something 3 days of peaceful change. All these just arrange text, use thousands of fonts, thousands of colors on a design. It is not a professional design. Any designer does not follow principles of design or creatively broken rules, then that design is not professional. This other one is first talked about something like that. Look at the way these slippers on. If you are following me, just be following according to how I'm going so that you know we're on the same page. This one that has brown slippers, Soji. This is a cool design, straightforward. If you look at the design, you know that the person is selling palm. I didn't read too much details to understand. That's what I was saying. That other design that the person used shoe, leather footings. If it could have been redesigned to have hierarchy and contrast like this one, would have been better. You see how the message was clear here and the design was simple. The next one, let's skip that one. Obviously, it's bad. Then the good one is good. Then I think that is all. So we are going to take note of those that submitted these assignments, and those that will still submit the assignments that we are going to give today. So that is that for those flyer reviews. We are going to be designing a flyer now, but before that, let me give us a theoretical step on how to come up with a good flyer design. I'm going to be sharing my screen. Okay, before I continue, hope we got the lessons from each of those designs that I reviewed just now.
Yes, sir,
We
we
did.
got it. Yeah, we got it.
Okay. So starting with, let me open my screen. I don't know, my system, my battery might die quickly today because I don't know what is consuming the power. That the fan is moving so fast. When it's doing that way, the battery dies faster too. So we are going to be fast with whatever we'll be doing. Okay. We already know what flyers are, what logos are, so we'll just move straight up. How to design flyers. I stated here that flyers have always been useful tools in marketing and passing of information across to a particular set of audience. Just like in the 90s, flyers are still very useful now. And before I continue, there's something that has been on my mind to let us know. AI can never replace graphic designers. That is one thing you should have at the back of your mind, because that is why some people are running from learning graphic design, because they feel AI will replace graphic design. AI cannot replace graphics. AI can only help you, assist you in your graphics work. Did we get that? We can only take advantage of AI to help us in making our work easier. But AI cannot replace us completely. It cannot. So I said that because I mentioned here that up till now flyers are useful, and the people that do flyers are the graphic designers. Then how to design flyers step by step is what we are going through now. The first thing that you are going to get your content. What is the flyer about? What is the content of that flyer? Content is everything. We know that. So you cannot design a flyer without a content which you are going to use to pass the message. You should be able to answer specific questions that the reader might ask, like what your flyer is about, where can they reach you, when is the event, when it has to do with event, what your reader should do immediately after. I think that is after I wanted to write. Okay, immediately should be clear, right? Okay, that is correct. Then that is talking about call to action. We'll talk about call to action later on. And I mentioned it when I was reviewing those other designs, call to action. There were some designs there that had a good call to action and it was very clear. We'll talk about it more. Then before designing a flyer, we have to have this in mind. Who is the flyer for? Are you designing for a brand? Are you designing for an individual? Are you designing for a set of people? If you want your flyer to be successful, you need to think about who you are designing it for. That is your target audience. Very, very important. If you are designing for a brand, you know that already there is less stress for you because the brand must have gotten their, what's it called? The brand must have gotten their brand identity, their colors and all. So you are making use of their colors, you are making use of their typography, you are making use of their imagery, making use of everything that has to do with the brand. So let me be sure the recording is capturing this. Okay, we are recording. So very important. If it is an individual, I have come to understand from my experience, different people have different tastes when it has to do with design. You as a designer, um, that is where your creativity and understanding has to come in understanding who you are designing it for, what the person will like and what the person will not like. You have to study your clients and work with them. A client might begin to say, correct this, correct that, but in all your correction, in all you are doing, you still make sure that you are still doing a professional work. You are still having all your principles of design being respected and obeyed on that design. No matter what your client wants to say, do it like this, do it like that. Try to make sure that you still have a professional design because that is your own. If they don't know about it, you are the only one that know about it. So because the client say you put pink here, make this and pink, make the logo bigger. You know that it is not supposed to be bigger. You know that that place pink cannot go unless you change something else. So you have to work around it to make sure that you still have a balanced design, even when you know that client is frustrating you. Then you need to do research. It's very, very important for design. This also we'll talk about it when we're talking about logo design now. You have to do your research. Your research can be to know about the client, to know about the target audience, or for you to get resources that you'll be able to use to design that flyer. Those are the various ways you can do research, the various things you can do research for. To know your target audience, to know who the person you are giving the design to also get resources that you will need to be able to achieve what you already put in mind to design. Then what size is the flyer going to be? We have to get headline. After you've gotten your text or your content, this is one thing you should know as designers. We are the one that will be able to figure out. Most time clients don't even know what they want. They don't know what they want. Let it not be that I'm just talking, please. Can we hear me? Are we getting me? Let somebody just say something
Yes,
or
sir.
comment.
As for me, I'm getting you. I'm
Okay.
getting you, sir.
Okay.
Very clear,
Okay.
sir.
So it is most time our job for you to be able to get the main headline from the text that your client sent to you. That means you have to read carefully to understand what they want. That means also you have to have some basic knowledge of marketing. What is it that if you make headline on this text that this person sent, will catch somebody's attention? Which keyword from this context, from this text that a client sent, what can you get out of it that will grab attention? Because one of the major things you want to do through that design is to be able to grab somebody's attention first before having them to read through other details and then taking an action. So this is the first part of the content that the viewers will see on the design. The number one on the hierarchy. Therefore, it needs to stand out and be able to grab attention. It should be able to draw attention. I've explained that. Oh, I think this is image I wanted to write. Pardon me. The image used on a design should always have the same message the flyer is all about. It also have to be high quality images. Okay, I said yes, see my video on how to download high quality images from Google. I'm sure some of us must have seen it. Let me see, I posted it on my Instagram. Let me share the link. Let me share the link before I continue. One of the most important things as designers you need is to get high quality images for every of your design. High quality images. When you ask your client to send images, some of them don't even understand. They will just send you blurry images, they just send you screenshots and all and all. Then if you know that those images they sent you cannot get it on Google or on the internet, you can ask them to send them as documents, send them through mail or send them through Telegram. If they cannot send it as document on WhatsApp, because normally if you send pictures to reduce quality, they send it through Telegram to you or they send it through email to you. It will not reduce quality. Always have that in mind, that whatever images you are working with, it has to be high quality. That is one. Secondly, the images have to be passing the same message. You cannot be talking about a design that has to do with motivation and you are putting a baby. How will a baby be able to motivate? I'm just using that as an example. So the image you are using on the design should always be in line with the write-up, with the content of that design. That is the first thing that somebody will even get the message from, if the image is big enough. So I'm dropping the link to how to download high quality images from Google search. I did the video, I think last week or so I posted, but I discovered some people don't know how to get that. So I have dropped the link now on the group. It's on my Instagram. I think I also posted on YouTube as well. Those that visited the YouTube page must have seen it too. Just started the YouTube page, and as time goes on, we'll be sharing useful content there. So try as much as you can, follow us. Also follow the Instagram page as well, so that you won't miss any important updates, any important content that we'll be sharing. Okay. The next thing is format your text according to the design. Choose the right typography, alignment. You know that already from the principles we've learned. Call to action. You've been able to have someone get information in design. What next? What would you want them to do afterwards? It's always necessary to have a call to action in the design. So as I said, we are the one that get the whole information arranged. They should be able to arrange the whole information in the design to have a call to action that either follow us or call this line or something, just or register if it's more like a seminar flyer, something to just have them do something after seeing, unless it's just an informative flyer, you just want to inform people something, and even information, you still have call to action to it. Okay, I've seen somebody, Gabson Sunday followed. All right, we can also try to follow us on Instagram. Then balance the design. I have talked about balance earlier on. Balancing a design has to do with you being able to make use of all principles of design accurately. properly well on a design. That is what will make your design balanced. Balance every element in proportion to each other. Let's know which elements a viewer should see first on the design, which is hierarchy, next, and all. Let's have sections on the design. Let the design be sectioned in such a way that somebody is reading this information, you know that this one is in line with this. That has to do with proximity. You have all information aligned properly, making sure there's enough white space as well. This is one thing that beginners in graphics avoid. Don't pack elements and put everywhere on the design. The simpler your design, the better it is. The more white space you have on your design creatively, the better it is. That's what you should know, is not to pack elements and put everywhere on your design. No. Make it simple. Let the message be passed. Keep that empty space. That empty space helps the eyes to be able to read freely through the information you are sharing. So we move. Okay, that is that for that. Then we'll talk about logo design briefly after. Let's, as I said, we are going to be designing today. So
We can hear you, sir.
this is the design we are going to replicate. Yeah, I think the network went off. But you can hear me now, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, let me change the screen I want to share. So I want to talk about, because I know that some of us here will be using phones to design, while some will be using systems. Some people sign up to use CorelDRAW, some people sign up to use Photoshop, Pixel Lab, and Canvas. I am going to be teaching us how to, or we are going to be designing this design. I am sharing the screen now. I don't know if you can see it yet. Can you see my Photoshop screen yet?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you
No,
see?
sir. No, sir. No, sir. We're not seeing.
I cannot see also. Yes, sir. We can see it now. We can see the screen.
Okay. Before we continue, this is just an additional knowledge. I did not put this on my notes to explain to us today. There are different kind of designing softwares, different kind of software we use to design. And we know the most popular ones, which is Photoshop, CorelDRAW, Pixel Lab for phone, and Canvas. I use Photoshop and CorelDRAW. Reason being, we have two kinds of graphic softwares, raster and vector softwares. CorelDRAW is a vector software, while Photoshop is a raster software. When designing a logo, it is not really professional for you to be using Photoshop to design logo. Instead, you either use Illustrator, which is a vector software, or you use CorelDRAW, which is also a vector software, because logos should always be designed in vector form. We are going to see that when we start talking about logo design. On phone we have a Pixel Lab and Canvas. I prefer using Pixel Lab on phone. When I was designing with phone, prefer using Pixel Lab because you are not being exposed to templates to just replace text, just replace images. No, you are actually designing from scratch. Unless you are include the lazy one, or you just want to do sharp job and you go and get canvas to be replacing templates. Although canvas, I know that you can also design from scratch, but then basically everyone that goes to canvas is looking for a template to replace. So we are going to be designing this with Photoshop. And one thing you should know about all these design softwares, there is always a similarity between them. Let me open my CorelDRAW screen now. Look at the Photoshop screen very well. My CorelDRAW is open. I want to show us the layout. Kai, this whole, I don't know. I think I have to restart this system because the way the fans are rolling is making the battery die faster. I am not doing heavy duty stuff here. It's just Photoshop on and the Telegram and Chrome. So let me take a break, shut down or restart my system so that it can take us a bit, because we started this class at the battery being 80 something, now it's 30 something. So it's draining too fast. So I'm going to join with my phone and shut down. Hope you can see me. I'm on my phone now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can I hear you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, for those that design with Pixel Lab, I had one of my students that designed with Pixel Lab to screen record, to replicate this design and screen record it so that I can drop the video here for those that design with Pixel Lab. For those that design with phone can learn from it. So shutting down the system. Okay, so I'll be dropping the video now. Let me drop the video now. Now, this design on this phone now is to prove to us that the software you are using to design should not be your limit, should not be your limitation to bringing out the creative artwork. Design is almost or more than 80% brain work and 20% software. The software you are using to design is just 20% of the whole artwork. 80% of it should be your creativity, your mind, the way you are able to picture and imagine the design before bringing it out. I did the design with Photoshop, and it is also replicated using Pixel Lab on phone with the same style, the same font, almost the same background. If I had given him the same background to use, it would be the same exactly. But see how creatively he was able to come up with this to do almost the same thing using the same image. So the software you are using should never be a limitation. The only thing that might be disturbing for those that use phone is in terms of the tools. But when you check through the tools that are on Pixel Lab, check through the tools on Photoshop, on CorelDRAW, on Illustrator, you will see similarities. You are going to see similarities. So software should never be a limitation when designing. It all is all about how you can imagine, how creative you are. Are we clear with that? So I see people be like, my designs are not fine because I'm not using Photoshop. My designs are not fine because I'm not using CorelDRAW. I don't have a system. Don't be limited by that. Sometimes I prefer designing with CorelDRAW. I prefer using CorelDRAW to design my flyers and everything. Sometimes I feel like using Photoshop. So the same thing can be achieved through any of those softwares. Should never be a limitation. I hope the system doesn't get. It's coming up. It's doing the same thing. I guess it's a Telegram call. But it was not happening like this yesterday. I hope we are cleared by not being limited by the software we use. And your creativity and your imagination and your skills, your design skill, your ability to know the design principles and all and be able to apply them is what make up the design, not the software. So let's open a new Canva. As I said, the first thing, we already know the design we want to do. So we are going to get the size we want. We can see my screen, my Photoshop screen. Can you see it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can see it.
All these sizes
We
are here
can see it,
because
sir.
they are the sizes
We can
I've
see it.
used. When you open Photoshop newly, you might not see this. You might just see where you have to put your size. Here, your width, your height. You can select in inches, in pixels, centimeter, millimeter, and all. Then the orientation, landscape or portrait. You want to make them artboards or just single. Click on artboards. No. This setting is only for Photoshop. Every software has its own setting. If you understand basically, you know the size of the design you want to do. Once you open the software, you will know how to do it. So don't be limited to one software. Okay, let's do that design. Let's replicate it. One thing I've also discovered is when you follow somebody through as they're designing, you learn faster as well. This image, I don't want to go to my system to begin to search for it where it is. I know it's among my resources. I think it's on the resources pack that I will give us as well. So I'm just going to copy this image to bring up to the design. This is it. You see the original image and its color. I had to make it, I had to add the hue and saturation to it to give us a similar color to the brand colors. You know, the brand color is blue and orange. So have to make sure that we blend the color of this image to blend into the colors of the brand. You can also do that as well on Pixel Lab. You can do that. You can do that on Corridor. You can do that on every other software. So you are not limited to the fact that you are using one. So you cannot be able to do that on. Always make sure that you are working with the brand colors or the colors based on research, based on a particular set of people that you want to design this thing for. This is the color that is necessary. If you are designing for children, for example, or let me just say, children. But basically, children colors, we work with multiple colors because children like different colors. If you are designing for women, for example, that you know that this is girl stuff, and you are using a more masculine color like deep blue and all, it might not be very sweet. But if you use something purple, something pink, like that range of colors, you have to blend everything to it. So we adjusted our hue and saturation to have let me see this. Okay, can we see my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
we
Yes,
are
sir. We
seeing
can
your
see it
screen,
now.
sir.
Mm.
Kai, this my system battery. I don't know what's happening today because of how fast the fan is going. I think we have something similar. So let's just have it like that. Then we have assumed that we've gone through the whole text that have been sent. Let's be your short design plug. And we have already thought that this should be the caption. This should be what should grab attention. Your short plug. The image now is describing, is giving more information to the content. Your short plug. Somebody will see the plug. I see the short plug, and we want to know more about what the design is talking about. So we have jumped all the steps to get to here. We already know the information we are working with. So what do? We go ahead, type the short plug. Oh, your short plug. One of the troubles graphic designers have is selecting of font. I will also be, because this class is not advanced class, not just that, because there won't be much time for us to explore different things. That is why I say you should stay tuned to my social media pages and YouTube. I'll also be making short videos to post how to combine fonts. This is one issue that designers face so much. You'll be doing a design, you don't know which font to use. Why should you use this font and all? Because there's a psychology involved in using fonts. There's a psychology. There are kind of fonts that you use that we speak the language of the design, or whoever you are designing, you are doing that design for. I use this font here because I already know that this is the font we use. The name of the font is Gratello. So I am going to be making videos on how you can combine fonts on a design based on the kind of design you are doing and the kind of fonts that go together on the design. And we know that we have different kind of fonts. I think I have a video like that too on my. Do I have a video on fonts? On types of fonts? Types of fonts? No, I don't think. If there is any video I did like that or anything, I'll share it with us later on. So even as the class will end, I'll still be sharing useful and helpful content with us. So stay tuned, stay close by. I don't know. I'll check through later. Perhaps I've made any post like that, or I'm going to make a post on typography and how to combine fonts on the type of fonts we have to make it easy for those of us that are just starting and those that also want to upgrade themselves. So let's be your. You see how simple the design is going to be looking. The goal is to make simple design that communicates. You don't need to think so much. You just need to know what to do. You just need to be creative. I don't think that is the phone. I think I used authentic. That design is actually an old design. So I just thought of using it to teach us because it is a very simple design. And one thing you should do as a designer is make sure you get enough fonts. They say we are never satisfied with fonts, and that is true because you need fonts for different purposes. Let's be your short design design blog. It is then went further to okay, let's just copy this. Let's just copy this so we don't type too long. So far, do we have any question as regards what I've been doing here since? Or regards what I've been talking about? Does
So
anyone have
everything
any
is
question?
clear. Everything is
No,
clear.
sir. Right now, sir.
We are
Okay.
following. Yeah, you can go on, sir. Yes.
Okay. So I have already, the reason why the design is very easy for me to be doing now is because I've already thought of the design. It's already in my head. So the easiest thing you can do before you start a design it on your head first. Design it in your head. You already know how the design should look. Have an idea of how the design should look before you come up with your you come up to your system or your phone or your app, anyone you are using to design. It will make work way easier for you. You spend less time on the design. So which alignment are we using here? I just checked that to see that we use left alignment on it all through. So we have to try to maintain that. Why we are increasing the size of this one is so that it will be visible enough. Some of these script fonts, all these fonts that look like handwriting, we call them script fonts. Sometimes they are not really visible like that enough unless you increase the size, unless you give them a create contrast. And know that we can create contrast through size and color. So you give them enough contrast on the design. So as I'm designing, I'm explaining to us so that we learn. And there is something I will also be teaching us later on my short videos that I will be doing. This is one issue I've even been having with my current students, those that I'm mentoring. Your line spacing matters so much. Your line spacing determines or makes your design look professional. You can apply every other principle of design and still fail when it has to do with your line spacing. Now, line spacing helps you. What helps you to get your line spacing properly is when you make use of proximity properly and section your design well. If I put this design like this line spacing, let me increase this line spacing now. Let me just make it 200. How will the design be? No matter how you put it, you align it well and all. But this line spacing is too much for it. Let's make it 110. On every software, on every graphic software, you always have a way to do your line spacing. So learning the tools of that software is not the basic and fundamental thing for you to become a graphic designer. It's you knowing all these basics, you having the knowledge of the principles and be able to apply them. Then with this now, we have made this one section of the design. We have made this a mini section of it, and we can draw grids around it. This is the middle of the page. We have divided this design into two. It's just what we are doing. We have divided design into two. You can see this is what sectioning has to do. We also can have this design, can have this as a different section, or let's even use this complete design now that we use. This is a section on its own. This is a section on its own. This is another section, and you know that we have this. So your design should be made up of sections. When somebody is looking at a design, there should be level of sectioning on those designs. The flyer now that we use for the publicity of this class, let me open it and show us the various sections that flyer has. There are a whole lot of things to talk about your flyer design for it to be professional enough. So we might not be able to cover everything on this design, and most of them are advanced level courses. You see that this is a section on this one. Then we have this mini section here, and we have this other one. So you have to section the information on your design and your design as a whole. And we see how we have this one entirely different from other side. And remember, when we're dealing with alignment, yesterday, there's an image that we posted. Let me bring it up. Let me bring it up here. This, you see how this design is kind of this organized alignment is section. And section your design like this. That is when you have a professional and balanced design. So I'm trying to rush up because of my battery. That is why I don't want to waste time with the designing of this flyer. That's why I'm just using this one that we already have to explain to us. Now this is a different section on this one. these contact details and call to action. You must not necessarily write well. Um, it's also an advanced trick for flyer design. The lesser the content on it, the easier the information will be passed. Instead of packing, if we saw those flyers, those rubbish flyers that were posted, the bad ones, how some of them just pack fonts, packed right up, full everywhere. That shows that the designer, one thing as a designer you should do is you should be able to get content and reduce the amount of content in such a way that the message will pass quicker. Are we following?
Yes, sir, we are following.
Following, sir.
We are following.
Okay.
Yes, sir, we are with you, sir.
So you should be able to get the content, look at it, and get um the the minimum words that you can get, and the message will still be passed on that design. So I'm just giving us tricks for flyers now. And one last trick I'll give us for flyer before we move on, because I'm having system, because I don't know what is happening, that my system decided to do this way today. MacBook is funny. This system battery can last up to 6 hours, 5, 6 hours. But when the fans are rolling like that, can barely last 3 hours. So my apologies for that. So last week on this flyer that I'm going to tell us now is we should always avoid having plain background. I tell my students this a lot. Plain background as your background, like just plain color. Just like, let me remove the background on this design. See, this is just plain white. Avoid having it. You can add up some things to the background to give it a feel. You see the difference? I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it when I remove those background effects there and when I added them back? The feel it gives to the background, to the whole design. So we might be doing another design tomorrow. I will also be talking about, remember I told you that tomorrow we are going to be talking about how to market yourself, how to position yourself, how to sell yourself as a designer. And we'll also be having a digital marketer in our midst that will give us more tips. Because one thing I've realized, as a graphic designer, you are also part of a digital marketing team. Graphic design is part of marketing. So there are some skills you need to know for you to be able to sell yourself. There are some digital marketing skills you need to know. There are some knowledge you need to know for you to be able to sell yourself out there, and even who you are designing for you to be able to design what will sell the person, because that is what you are doing. You are helping them sell themselves through designs. I might be talking about, okay, let me talk about logo design quickly, because I believe flyer is simple enough. As time goes on, we'll be learning different tricks for us to get better. I'm not going to leave us. I actually want to teach a lot of people, impart this knowledge to a lot of people to know how to design simple and in global standard designs. Simple and global standard design. I will also be forwarding some designs to us on the group later on. I think I will do that today after the class, of designs that are not professional, especially when it has to do with logo. So let's quickly talk about logo design now. How if I open my Chrome, this system I go off. I don't know. Let me just try. Let me just try. Okay, I want to share my screen. For us to briefly talk about logo design, because I put down some notes for us to take. Just let me know if you've started seeing my screen, my slide. Just let me know when it starts showing. Has it started showing? Are we there?
Yes, sir. It has started. Yes, it has started showing how to design
Okay.
logos. Hmm.
There is so much to talk about when it has to do with logo design. For how you'll be able to design a logo, a global standard logo, and not what some people call logos. Let me even see if I have what some people call logos. I think I saved it on my phone to share with us what some people call logos. But then you know that if you want to do a logo, you have to make research. I don't want to rush this aspect. I'm having 10% left. What I'm going to do tomorrow, before we talk about how to market ourselves, I am going to talk briefly on logo design. We're going to talk briefly on logo design. Then, if we'll be doing any logos, we'll be doing any flyer tomorrow, we do before we have our class on how to market yourself. And okay, and we'll also be giving. I'll be giving assignments now. Now, this assignment is for me to know those that have followed me up to this level, for me to know those that are serious with me, those that are ready for me to um, impart the knowledge I've learned over years into them. So you are going to design a flyer based on what you understand from everything we've talked about here. No matter the software you are using, I've told you that software cannot be your limitation. If you have issue with any software you want to use, my DM is always open. The same number I use here on Telegram is the same number I use on WhatsApp. You can reach me through the social media pages as well. You can go through my website. You can reach me through there. I am reachable through various means. Reach out to me. I will attend to you. If it's personal one-on-one, how to use a particular software, because I know that is a different skill entirely. That I said is that 20% is also very necessary. Where the 80% has to do with brain work, for that 20%, if you don't have it, you might not be able to implement the brain work that you've gathered. So if you cannot make use of a particular software on your own, cannot pick it up and start, reach out to me. I can have one-on-one session with you. I've done this severally for people. I can have it with you and put you through how to get it done with a particular software. So we are going to design the simplest thing I can ask us to do, a birthday flyer. Use yourself, do your birthday flyer. If you don't have a picture of yourself, well, let me leave it open, not necessarily yours. Just do a birthday flyer. I will know when you use a template. I will know when you copy the design. I will know if it is your design. Trust me, I will. So please design it. Send it to my mail. Yes, let me drop it here on the group. Prem the let me just copy the mail and give us once. All right. I have a reason why I say you should send through mail to me. The person that I just dropped here, that he will know if it's templates. He knows me. He knows that I've caught him severally before. So I will know if it's a template. I will know. Just come up with your own creative mindset and come up with a logo. Sorry, a birthday flyer for anyone and send it to my mail. I have a reason for saying send it to my mail. I'm going to disclose that reason tomorrow. I just want to know those that are serious, and you are going to be surprised why I said you should send to my mail. And if you do, you'll actually be glad you did. So before we get cut off, we can end the call by ourselves. Have we learned anything new today?
Yeah, sure.
Yes,
We
sir.
have learned a
Yes,
lot of
sir.
things. Mm.
Absolutely, sir.
All right. So any question, any contribution, any minors, any addition to all I've said? Anyone? If you have any question, please ask. Okay. Give Gabson, you want to ask a question? If you have a question, please ask. If you don't have a question, we are going to be ending the class now. People are typing. Is there a question you want to ask? Let me know. Okay. Your daily still have something. Okay. Can we hear you? Fiola, can we hear you?
Uh, Hello?
Can we hear you, Fiola?
Yeah, I can. I'm talking. I'm talking. I don't know if you're hearing me.
I can hear you now.
We can hear you, sir. Can hear you, sir.
Oh, network. Hello?
I can hear you now.
Okay, sir. Mine is not really a question. It's just a commendation. I simply that I wanted to appreciate your methodology of teaching is very easy to get for a few of us that are ready to learn. And it's easy to go by. I will appreciate your effort. Now, today I've learned a lot. Now, with the assignment you are giving us, I believe a lot of us will put up something that will get one or two corrections from you, and we'll keep growing. So, thank you. Just a word of appreciation, not a question. That's what I have. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Fiola. That means a lot. Thank you very much. Um, let's try to do our assignments. Let's try. I will take note of those that did the first one and those that will also do the second one. It is very important. See you in class tomorrow. And as I said, any announcement I want to drop, I will always drop it for us on the group. And the class is recorded. I'll also post it on the YouTube. I got that idea yesterday to post it on the YouTube so that if you still want to revisit it, you can do that. And for those that missed the class, that really wants to learn, they missed because of one or two reasons, they can still go back to learn as well. So, guys, thank you for your participation. I'm glad I have you here. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be grand finale and it's going to be a big one for all of us.
Thanks, sir.
The assignment is design a birthday flyer. Make sure you apply the principles we talked about. Um, Based on your understanding, we are going to make corrections. We are going to learn. So thank you very much, guys. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Time for tomorrow. Sorry.
7 p.m.